you to finish.
And 5, 4, 3.
Welcome, everyone, and pull up a seat at the table. It's Lunchtime in Rome. Tonight's episode 277 is titled Rejoice, Go, and Groan. We have our ups and downs and times where things are really happening. That's what we're talking about at the table this evening. Pull up a seat at the table and join us. First-time listeners can subscribe on your favorite podcast app or watch live or later on YouTube at Lunchtime in Rome. Visit us at lunchtimeinrome.com. While there, you can take our relational needs questionnaire. Make sure to follow us on all social media, and it would be great if you could leave us a 5-star review. Jay, what specifically is this podcast about?
At the table, we strive to love one another and help you to do the same. Some weeks we have someone on so that you can get to know them and learn a little bit about yourself in the process. Other weeks, we dive into a topic. Romans 12:15 says to rejoice with those who rejoice and mourn with those who mourn. That's what we do, and specifically what we're doing tonight. So while it may not be 12:15 in Rome, we're treating it like it is
Lunchtime in Rome. Is my mic... It's okay. It was crackly before.
Sound effect.
What? Oh my gosh. I was so concentrated on...
I know, the crackling mic.
Restart.
Good call, Jay.
Lunchtime in Rome. Yay. Yay. Joe's with us tonight.
Hi, everybody.
Brian's out and about and doing work, and Chris is not feeling great. We will leave it at that. And tonight, for the first time in 277 episodes, we're having a little bit of a different format. Unless we've done it. Have we ever done completely different format before? I mean, the ladies took over.
Yeah.
But they kept the format.
There was his bonus episode, which was just all the clips.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't an episode. That was a gift.
That was a
From
gift.
the drops.
But we turned it into an episode.
We did?
Yeah.
It's on Spotify.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you update it with all the most recent ones?
No.
It'll only be like 190. No, more than that, actually.
It would be so many, dude.
For that, which, if you don't know what we're speaking of, if you listen to an episode on any podcast device, at the very end, well, at the very beginning, you hear something out of context, which is something that was said during the episode. And we just put it in the beginning because it's funny taken out of context. But the other little clips are at the end after we say goodbye. So you should always listen to the end for what we like to call the drops. So what is this new format? Well, before we say anything else, we want to thank Groot from the Hooked On podcast. Jesus, that's well done. I started by saying Groot.
We'd like to thank Jesus for this whole podcast.
For the Hooked On Groot podcast. Laurie Ann, Bethany Jaworski, Marilyn, Ashley, and Breaking 90, they all sit at the head of the table each and every week. They do that because they believe in what we do, and they are a part of what we do, or they're a driving force of what we do. So they go to lunchtimeinrome.com and become a paid subscriber. It is an elite club, but it is not an exclusive club. Anyone can go and sit with them at the head of the table. So normally with a podcast, we do a little catching up, but that is in essence the bulk of what this podcast is going to be, because I saw an Instagram reel the other day and it said, some people have friends who will talk smack and make fun of them to their face. Other people have friends who will stand up for them and speak well of them when they are not in their presence. And others have a friend or two who will be there for them when they need them. So it is very rare to have all three in the same person. And in essence, that is a healthy relationship. Now, the talking smack to somebody's face, making fun of them into their face, you have to have earned the right to do that. That's literally what we do each and every week, mostly with Chris, but then with each other
I was
as
gonna
well.
say, that's my relationship with Ben. Like, that's...
It really is. You love him dearly.
I'd do anything for him.
Right.
Yeah.
And if somebody was disparaging about him,
Absolutely.
you would stand up and you would defend him. Mm-hmm. And so we want to model that tonight. We want to embody Romans 12:15, which is to rejoice with those who rejoice. And that's going to be Eric, and he's going to be our closer tonight.
Oh, I'm the closer.
You're the closer, Bood, dude. Bood. First day of my new mouth.
Right?
Not really. turned 54 and lost all my ability to speak. We're going to mourn with those who mourn, which was supposed to be Chris, but he's so mourning, he's not even here to give us his doom and gloom. But we'll speak on his behalf. And Joe's been in the thick of it a little bit, but he's got a lot of good things going on as well. So you're a hybrid. We're gonna mourn with you. We're gonna laugh at you.
I'm the third
We're gonna
string
celebrate
Chris.
with you. Third stringer, Chris? Who's second string, Chris?
It's a great question.
Who is second string, Chris?
Amy
Ben.
Raymond.
Amy Raymond? No, Amy's not Chris at all.
No, Ben.
Far too Ben. Yeah, but Ben's Ben.
I know.
Anyhow,
Literally
and
his offspring, though.
we're adding. So you rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn, and you go with those who go. Because I and Brian, to a degree, boy, we're on the go. But I got some exciting news tonight that I'm going to share as well. So let's lead off with some friends from online. And also from the table, though we do have to get the first one to the table, and that is our good friend Becky Finoletto. I put it on my Facebook page. Hey, if you got something to rejoice, let me know. You got something to mourn? Let me know. Got some exciting things going on? Let me know. She said, gosh, can it be all three? And that's a pretty good look at, I think, a lot of people's lives right now. Like, there's good, and there's bad.
Yeah.
And there's, man, I got to go. I got some stuff going on. And I'm privy to a lot of what she's going on. So just know, Becky, that we are with you. And I know some of the things you're facing. And, you know, she got like potentially devastating news that isn't that bad, but kind of. You know, it's like the one, like, you know, the plane crashed, there were no survivors. Oh, okay. Now I got to deal with that. You know, but like, well, the plane may or may not be missing. Wait, I don't know what to do with that. Like, what are we doing? You know, it was kind of abducted by aliens. I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
So-
Reserve my feelings for that for later.
yeah, until I find out more information.
Right.
But also Christina, she commented and said, "Hey, it's go time." You know, they're buying a house in Penn Hills, which is exciting.
Yeah.
Julian, he just got a new job and started yesterday, was it, or Monday? I guess Monday. So that's a whole new world. And they're engaged, and they just hit their 1 year away from their wedding date.
Yeah.
True.
And so that's coming up. Is it the 14th? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Happy day before my birthday to me.
Happy day after my birthday to me.
Crazy. We will never forget their anniversary. We will.
Yeah, I will.
And Julian's coaching. And so they've just got a whole lot going on, and it's exciting for them. So we want to point that out. I'm going to fill in for Chris. I know that he, is just not feeling well this evening. They had the last 2 days, or at least he had the last 2 days off of work, but they spent it helping Amy's dad move, which nobody likes to move.
Right.
I don't think. I mean, my grandmother on my mom's side, so Grandma Bronner,
Yes.
who died when I was one, they literally, I don't know if you know this, Joe, they would move like every 5 years.
Oh gosh.
That's
No.
Maybe 10, but it's got to be like, I think it was
And
5.
it probably felt like 3.
I almost said I'll have to ask my mom. Going to have to wait on that.
Yeah.
But, so she may have liked it, but Papa Bronner, he was just the greatest guy that ever lived. So he'd be like, okay. And they would move. And I mean, they might go 3 streets down. Like they never moved away. You know,
what?
all the different places they lived from the one time we went to Tesseros.
And the Sweeneys lived here, and the Zigorellis lived here, and Sister Mary, she slept here one time after the school dance.
Joe got the tour on the way home. But so move it. But nobody likes to move. Nobody really likes to move somebody else.
Right.
Right.
Your good friends show up on moving day.
For a while. And then it's...
And it's you just need to hire movers.
There it is.
I say this all having committed to helping Christina and Julian move.
Sure. But see, they're still in that window, and so are you.
They are, right.
And we will help them. We'll be all about
yeah.
it.
Yeah. If they ask, I'm there.
But you do get to a point where you're like, I'll give you a couple $100 to hire a company. I'm not.
Yeah. We can all pitch in.
Dude, we'll have pizza. Like,
No.
I can buy my own pizza.
There comes an age. I don't know what the age
like
is.
you're motivated by
but
pizza,
yeah.
I'll bet.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, man, you're
Right.
down. You're again. What was it, Nate Bargatze?
I'm down.
When you're 20, I'm down.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I'm down. You know, as you get into your 30s, it's like, well, how long will we be out? What is the parking situation like? I'm driving separately. But So he's helping his father-in-law move, which is a big deal, and just got a lot going on. And so we're with him. I mean, we will make fun of him to his face. We will call him soft, and then we'll do whatever we can to love him and to lift him up and to be there for him and his whole family to get him through this rough patch. So our hearts go out to him, and we hope that he pulls through.
Yeah.
Joe, have you hurt yourself today?
No.
Attaboy. Do
Yeah.
I know how many? We only have 2 in the last week?
2 in the last 5 days. No.
Math.
6.
6. Why don't you tell everybody what
No, it is 5. It's 5.
happened? Yes.
So my birthday was last Thursday, celebrated by doing schoolwork.
The big 2-2.
Big 22.
Did it feel like, Because like
It
21's
wasn't-
penultimate. 20, that's it, man. That's
Yeah.
the 21.
It wasn't like
Then it's by the decade at that point.
25.
Yeah.
Quarter of a century, rent a car.
Sure.
it wasn't disappointing, but it was just
Right.
like, oh yeah, it's my birthday.
Right.
Like,
It's like
I'm
the
cool.
Tuesday of birthdays.
Right.
Yeah.
The Tuesday of birthday.
Because when 25 comes around, that's a Friday birthday.
Yeah. Well, no, it's a.
It's Friday or Saturday.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
Oh, you mean literally?
If we're right,
But that makes
like
21 a Monday.
Because like when he's 23, that's like a Wednesday.
But yeah, I think 21 is a Friday of birthdays.
But
25
my original
25 is like a Saturday.
It's a leap year.
right. Yeah, but my point was like 22 is such a Tuesday. Of a
Oh, well, I agree
birthday.
with that
Yeah,
wholeheartedly.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
arguing 25 being
You're
Friday.
like, wow. If you went Ben, you're like, if we're going by numbers, then 21 is actually the Friday birthday.
Ben's not even here.
I stand by that. I think 25 can be a Saturday. It's a good day.
It's a good day.
Got to get up though. Got to go to church the next day. So just saying. Friday's 21.
Let's spend 2 more minutes on this.
Actually, let's. So wait, what is 16?
Oh man,
That's a big day.
December. Careful over there, Joe.
13, your first year of being a teenager. That's clearly purple.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
13's orange.
Oh, I apologize. So Friday, day after your birthday.
Yeah, so I'm on my way to work. I'm in
Mow
my-
hands.
Going to mow hands. I'm on my way, and I'm in the car, and I'm at this red light for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, man, I got to cut this thing open. And I take out my pocket knife. I'm trying to cut it open, and I'm like, oh, I got it open.
Oh, it was on closing it or on the opening?
No, on the like it
Oh,
slipped.
okay.
It slipped.
It slipped.
And
But it was like a stab.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a stab.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a slice.
Stab.
Nice.
I like right.
Choing.
I won't show the stitches, but here. And my hand starts bleeding, and I'm like, well, I'm looking around, and I take a Army PT shirt, wrap my hand in it, and I'm looking around. I'm like, all right, where am I? I see the sign, emergency room, and I'm like, great. And it's like McGee Women's, and I'm like,
They can't turn me down.
I unwrap it.
Or can they?
Well, I unwrap it, look at it, I'm like, I'm probably fine. And then there's like fat coming out of my fingers.
That's
so I'm
always the telltale sign. When the fat comes through, you got to go see a doctor.
Yeah.
wrap it back up, turn right. I park in the emergency lot of McGee Women's, and I walk in, and I said, hey, I know I'm a guy.
I can prove it too, you know.
I would love to show you. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm bleeding pretty bad. And she goes, well, we accept everybody. And I go, well, I'd like to check myself in.
Well, then I qualify.
And then, you know, she goes, what happened? And I said, I cut my hand with a pocket knife. She goes, don't you hate when that happens? I'm like, yeah,
She's joining you.
right, joining me in my emotions. I'm like, yeah, no, I do hate when that happens. So I go in 20 minutes later, the PA, she walks in the room. Hey, what happened to your hand? I go, I cut it with a pocket knife. Don't you hate when that happens? I'm like, what's going on in this ER? Like everyone's hands is full of stitches and stuff.
A guy comes in, his arm's got like gangrene. They're like, don't you
Don't
hate
you
when
hate
that
when that
happens? Guy's got a pit bull hanging off of his.
So whatever, I get out of there in 30 minutes. I text my boss. I'm on my way in. I was just at
Mickey Women's
well,
Hospital.
I text Jess Calvi. I was like, hey, I'm on my way. I had to get stitches. I was in the ER. She goes, where were you?
Oh, she did ask?
Yeah, she goes, where were you? Just so we know how long it's going to take. And I go, Mickey Women's emergency room.
You're like Forbes, and you just hammer down.
Monroeville Med Express. But I get to work, and now all the ladies at Mohans are like, "Oh, did they make you do the stir-ups? Like, did they warm up the specula for you?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'm sorry." Meanwhile, I have tape wrapped around my hand. I'm
Dying
trying to
a thousand deaths.
Yeah.
You just keep crying. Please, 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 please. This is too much for me.
So whatever, the stitches, I'm going to take them out tomorrow. I'm going to go to a medical professional to take them out. And
For those of you listening, he's shaking his head no.
right,
And you're not letting your mother do it?
I am.
Oh, okay. Oh, she's more professional than most medical professionals. Anybody out there, by the way.
Yeah.
She loves to take stitches out.
She's taking stitches out of my finger.
She's a big fan.
So that's resolved.
However,
And yesterday, I'm in an intramural volleyball league, and I was playing, and I jumped up to block the ball. I blocked the ball, and the guy's feet come under the net, and he steps on my foot.
he stepped on your foot.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you landed on his foot. That's why we have these podcasts.
Right. This is clarification.
On the record.
And my foot goes like this, and I fall to the ground.
He stepped on your foot.
Yep.
And your foot rolled?
Yep.
I didn't know that's possible.
Well, it's more like
I
Joe
can tell.
rolled and his foot stayed where it was, is what it sounds like.
I felt someone step on my foot.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Regardless, the result.
They gave me the medical term for it. I sprained my ankle.
But
Yeah,
pretty
so-
gnarly, though.
Yeah, it was pretty swollen last night. I walked with a cane for a good bit of today.
Oh, you did? Because
Around the house, yeah.
oh, okay.
No, not outside.
Not in Oakland, man. They can.
The irony of it is I was playing the physical therapy team. So it was 6 physical therapists, like all touching like my ankle and stuff. And I'm like, I don't want this. Thank you.
One at a time, one at a time.
Keep it on the ankle. Keep it on
Let's
the ankle.
keep it in a line, right? Right. So yeah, that's me. I mean, otherwise I'm good. In a great relationship, good friends, good house. But that's my down.
But that's good because I think one of the last times where we focused on you, we were talking about how you're moving in with 2 people who didn't know you per se. And so it's a whole new world.
True.
I mean, you've been on since, but you
right.
weren't the topic. And so it's nice that you have, you got Ben and you got Luke, but now you got two new guys.
Right, Nate and Dylan.
And they're now they're not in the boys status, are they?
No.
You
They're
can't-
not going to watch us.
Okay. So yeah, they're
But
not
I'm
best
good
friends, but they're good friends.
No, I'm real good friends with both of them.
right. See them a lot, obviously.
More than I'd like to. I'm just kidding.
It's true of anybody. So there is that. So that's awesome. And you're mucking and grinding through school and
Yep, getting it done.
just loving every minute of it.
I'll finish when I'm ready.
By the way, Christina Mayer, her 25th was a Sunday.
Was it?
Now, literally or figuratively?
Right.
Let
Because
us know,
25
Christina.
is purple.
Well, if you look,
Oh, her little profile picture is a purple C.
It's a
So,
sign. We
yeah,
figured
we
it out.
it
figured
is
it out.
purple. So you take that. Orange, you glad you're wrong?
You give me any birthday, I'll give you a color for it.
All right. Not right now, though.
Well, no. You can DM me.
It's a new service he does. It's like in the movie City Slickers, which was well before your time. You've
Very.
seen it. I
I'm
would
very
assume.
familiar.
Where the one guy owned an ice cream shop, and they're like, he's the best ever. You give him any meal, and he can tell you the perfect ice cream that goes with it. And he was like, okay. Was it twice or no? Blackened sea bass, twice baked potatoes, green beans almondine. And he goes, watch, he can do it. And he goes, mint chocolate chip. And they go, ah! And he goes, well, mint chocolate chip what? Or it was pistachio. It was pistachio.
Yeah, it
And he
was
goes,
pistachio.
And how do you know how do you know that story? He goes, 57 franchises. That was the proof. And if you go from 1 to 2 to 57 franchises, you're on the go. And that's what I am right now. I'm not moving anywhere. I am not changing anything profession-wise. But in January, speaking of you're in a good relationship, Julia reached out to me, Joe's girlfriend, with a text.
Oh, it's a surprise.
And she said,
Sorpresa.
this is probably, I wanted to have this conversation in person, which it is her only character flaw, is she either begins conversations, emails, or texts with words that make it sound like impending doom is coming. Now, does she do that to you? Yeah. It's incredible. Like, even in like her birthday card she gave to me, like, I was just like, oh boy, here we go. And she's like, you guys are the best family, and my family knows how important you are to me. And I'm like, where's the other shoe? And it never comes.
I get a text and it's like, I'm so sorry. You're gonna be so mad at me. And I'm like, what's going on?
She's like, you're the best.
She's like, I'm gonna
I'm
be
in
2
love
minutes
with you.
late to Bible study. And I'm like, what? What?
So I wanted to have this conversation in person, but it's going to have to do as a text. And I really feel led to work with high school students. And I was hoping I can maybe do that through Young Life or the church. And she said, I know that Joe wants to volunteer with Young Life when he's done with school. So I just wanted to let you know to pray about it and do whatever. And I was like, well, that's interesting. And then we got the news that Christina and Julian were going to be moving back into Penn Hills. And they already sort of mentor some kids in our church. And I thought, well, they could be Young Life leaders. Well, then our existing Young Life area director resigned as of January 6th. So the position was open, and I met with the Metro director, JB. Yeah, we should have JB here. He should sit at the table.
Yeah, for sure.
I made him laugh pretty hard the other day. But I met with him, and he said, yeah, there's a guy, it'd be a good fit, but it's about 18 months away. And so I sat there, and I was like, okay, So we lost the last guy who I would say he left a little meat on the bone ministry-wise. Mm-hmm. And now all of a sudden we got 4 people who could potentially be a Young Life leadership team, but now we have 18 months. And so I said, Lord, is this what you want? And so I prayed a little bit about it. And then I consulted some people about it. And so I guess officially Monday night, I became the interim part-time area director for Young Life East Hills, which was the full-time position I had from 1996 and through 2008.
Wow.
And so I'm still working at the church, still pastor, but I'm getting half of a salary from Young Life, which is $12,000 more than I made my first 3 years on Young Life staff.
That's crazy.
And only a few $1,000s less than Rachel makes right now. So the church will pay me a little bit less in exchange for maybe I'm not as busy at the church as I have been in the past. So the church, they kind of get a bonus out of it. But it's so exciting on many levels. And I have to give a shout out to Sean McCartney, also somebody we should have at the table.
Very much.
But he does live in Wheeling. Sean said he is kind of the Metro director of Young Life of West Virginia. He's not the regional guy, but he's the Metro guy. And he told me when we were having some staffing conflicts this past summer, he's like, Jay, you should just do it. Just do it. I'm like, you're out of your mind. I'm not going to do it. And I'm like, the last thing I can do is step in when we already have a staff guy and all this stuff. And no way, no way. And he goes, Jay, I don't have many full-time staff. He goes, I hire teachers, guidance counselors, people who are invested in the community. He said, Jay, nobody's more invested in the community of Penn Hills from a ministry perspective than you. And I'm like, well, I'm not saying that, So that's, with Julia's text, JB's comment about waiting 18 months, and Sean's comment from this summer kind of all came together. And I mentioned it to the committee, I mentioned it to the church, I mentioned it to Rachel, and she was like, well, it's probably easier than when we had 2 kids and 2 dogs. So yeah, I guess it'd be okay. She's like, you're still going to make my lunch and get gas for me? I'm like, yeah. She's like, cool. That's all I really need out of you during the week. But what I'm excited about and what very few people realize, I I am invested in the community. I was talking to Sean and I said, I was at swimming senior night. And he goes, yeah, see? He goes, I've been on Young Life staff 20 years. I've never gone to senior night for swimming. I don't think anybody goes. And I'm like, oh, I was there. But I do have a lot
We
of
have a swimming team?
I do have good relationships. And, in 2008, I was 37 years old. And I was in that awkward period where you're not the cool young guy anymore. But like now, I'm the cool old guy. Like the fact that I care about you as a high school student, it's not creepy. It's not weird. It's like, wow, nobody that age likes me. And so as I pay attention to kids, they're like, wow, that is so awesome. The example I use, I went to the baseball game last Friday. Yes, we have a baseball team. I'm now doing announcing and music for the baseball team. And I saw 3 guys from the basketball team there, one of which is the star player, one of the best players in the WPIAL. But another kid who was with them, I've never had a conversation with. I've announced him before. He's the kid that's like 5'6", and he touches highest on the team.
Oh, yeah.
Hilarious to watch the kid jump.
Wow.
Like it takes so long. Like he's in the air for so long. Like they're fast break the other way as he's landing.
He jumps for the outfield at second base.
Yes, except that he doesn't play baseball. What?
You said baseball.
At the baseball game, they were there watching as basketball players
Gotcha.
to support their friends
Gotcha.
in the school.
Gotcha.
And what's up? I joked with them, whatever else. Cool. And then I went over to where I was playing music because I wasn't announcing yet. It was a scrimmage. And then I said, come on. They wanted to watch their buddy pitch. So I said, hey, come back here with me in like sort of the secure area.
Yeah.
And then they were leaving, and I turned around, and the kid who I'd never had a conversation with before is still standing there while the other 2 friends had left. And he daps me up and gives me a bro hug. Now, mind you, I just met this kid. I'm sure he doesn't know my name, but he's so, like he respected the fact and was grateful that I took the time to spend time with him.
Yeah.
Through the years, as we've hired people in Young Life, people on the committee would be like, "No, look, this isn't where you're from. Young Life and Penn Hills and kids in Penn Hills and Woodland Hills, it's tougher, and it's not the same as in the easier areas." And every time we hired somebody, I'm like, "You're wrong. Like kids are kids. They want to be loved. They want to be paid attention to." So, all that being the case, it's exciting that I have this equity in the community. I have this equity at the school. I can go into the school anytime I want, for any reason I want, because I belong there. I've earned the right to be heard. Like they just go, oh, that's Jay, whatever. And I do have existing relationships with a lot of kids. Okay, great. How do I transfer all of that into an active ministry? How do I, one of the options is I take kids to camp. Okay, which kids? How many kids? Not, we've done a lot of fundraising, and we're going to be doing more because kids in Penn Hills don't have $700 to go to Young Life Camp. So in the past, we've been like, okay, it's $100 for you, and we raise the other money, whatever else. Well, which kids do I ask? Do I start with a campaigner Bible study, or do I start with like a quasi leadership? And I just pick out kids who I know to be leaders in the school and talk to them about Young Life and go from that angle. Do I start with fun activities and things like that? Do I work with a new leadership team? When do they come on? How do I want to go about this? And so that's what fills my brain right now. That's my sort of quiet time, and I'm excited about it. Another example, at the baseball game Friday, this kid comes up to me, "Are you Mr. Mitlow?" And I said, "I most certainly am." And he said, "Well, I want you to know my name's Isaiah, and I was good friends with your son in kindergarten." To which, me being an idiot, I'm like, "But Joe's 21 years old." And I went, "Oh."
Yeah.
He was good friends with Trey. And he said, "I just wanted to say hi to you." And he is Trixie, otherwise known as Heather Houlihan's nephew.
Wow.
And he says, "My mom watches your services every Sunday." Now, in Young Life, we call it contact work. When you go out into the world, you go into the high school students' world. So there I am in the high school students' world Friday, and I am just meeting the high school. I go to the athletes' food pantry every day, but now here I am with the baseball team. Well, Saturday, I go to the bingo to support the Penn Hills musical, which talk about saying nice things about your friends, until you've sat at a bingo table with Brian and Ron, his father, her. and they don't understand how bingo works. You have not lived, my friends. It was so much fun. Brian may understand the TV show The Mole better than he understands bingo.
Nobody understands the mole.
But my guy Isaiah's mother comes up to me and she said, I just wanted to say thank you for being kind to Isaiah yesterday. Can you tell me more about your church services because we'd like to come tomorrow? He asked me if it would be okay if we actually came to church. I ain't been hired yet. And yet here we are just by being available. You know,
Right.
I see the kid on Friday at the game. I see the mom at bingo on Saturday night.
You're just there.
And they were there in church on Sunday. So I think I'm going to ask Isaiah to go to camp. I think that's a good start. And he got to pitch yesterday. He's not tall.
That's cool.
He's
Freshman?
sophomore, I believe. So I'm excited. And Young Life, like JB, who's the Metro director, said, now we got to figure out with you already being a pastor, we normally ask our staff to raise a portion of their salary. He goes, now it's a different circumstance with you, I understand. And I was like, no, I said, that's fine. Because I have tons of Young Life alumni, people that I've been involved with for years who I haven't asked them for money. And I haven't asked them for money for the church because that's weird. So I'm excited to do that. Whereas doing the money was hard in 2008. I'm all about it now. Like, I want to raise all the money so kids can go to camp for nothing.
Yeah.
And we get it rolling. Which leads me to a separate point, and then I will conclude. Which is, I have always felt either guilty, and I think it's more guilty than convicted, that I am not a 6 o'clock in the morning, I wake up and I go down and like Joe, like somebody says, tell me about your dad's quiet times. You're not going to say, oh, dad sits he has his little spot in the dining room and he has his folder and he has his Bible and he has his journal. And I've just never been that guy. I've tried to be that guy. Go ahead. You want to?
My answer to that would be, it's probably 1:30 in the morning. He's watching like Survivor or something on his laptop. It's when the Holy Spirit talks to him.
Well, and it is. I live a lifetime of that. I try to be as much in communication with God as I can be. But I figured out, and it was only this week as I was praying about Young Life, thinking about the church, thinking about strategies for how do we effectively launch this ministry in the best way possible. How do I convert the equity I have in the community with, changing lives through Christ. And it's when I go to sleep and when I wake up, which happens a few times. I might go to bed at 3. I get up when Rachel wakes up about 5. I say hi to her. I go back to sleep. Probably go to the bathroom about 8:30, and then maybe I get up for the day at 10, whatever. But each time I go to bed and each time I go back to bed, all I do is pray. And I sit there and I say, Lord, what are we going to do about this? And what do you want to do with this? And that's when the idea for Young Life came up. And I thought, there's no way I'm going to get up and go sit at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'd be like, oh, there's a bird. Oh, there's a squirrel. I got to cut the grass. The leaves are too bad.
Right.
But that's how God and I get together each and every day, multiple times. And it was really kind of freeing. So that's what I got going on.
That's awesome.
That's your go.
That's my go. We
That's
got a
your go.
lot of going on.
Yeah.
And I can't stop doing funerals. But I think that's going to slow down.
I hope so.
I would hope.
Well, yeah.
The easy pickings are they've been picked. So anymore. Well, it's like, what I'm saying is if we had a death pool at church, these would have all been like $1.
Like plus 1,000.
Yeah, you're not making money on any of these. And I hope we're not making money on any moving forward. It's a little concerning given your whole Super Bowl, DraftKings, swindling.
I have not spent money besides the first time.
Well, you sign up with like
They
$20 and they give you like $200 or whatever.
It was twice. If I DraftKings and FanDuel, I give them $5.
You and a friend.
But side story. My roommate Luke and I for the Super Bowl figured out that if we both sign up for DraftKings and FanDuel, and we put they're like, if you bet $5, we'll give you 150.
Right.
So okay. And we just bet on opposite sides of bets that we're guaranteed to make money.
Right.
And so that's what we did. And we both walked away with like $200.
There you go.
That's kind of awesome.
That is awesome.
And haven't bet since.
No.
Walked away.
There you go.
And I love that you guys were like doing the beautiful mind thing. Like, no way, no way, no way.
The digits are all like going
$5 each.
Yeah. We're like, well, if we bring a fourth person into this.
Right.
Didn't work.
No.
Didn't work.
Only two sides to a coin, bro.
That's true.
Heads or tails.
What's new with you?
Well, man. So Amy and I went to Nashville.
Yeah, you did.
Ever heard of it?
You almost said that like molasses.
Nashville.
It's the Titusville of Tennessee.
Not true.
Not true at all.
True.
Not true at all.
It's a real small local town.
No, but Amy and I were looking to get away
Looking to get away.
like a year ago.
Desperately needing.
Desperately needing to get
Begging
away.
on your hands
Yeah.
and knees.
And you know, at first we were thinking like, oh, we should go somewhere tropical, but I don't have my passport, so we can't go all that far. And like around this time of year, the water is still cold down in like the Gulf and whatnot. You know, we're not going and doing that.
You know, you ain't going to West Palm.
Right. So
You're
I
not
was like,
going to the Keys.
that's right. So I was like, what about Nashville? And Amy was like, yeah, that would be cool. So we did some planning, but we didn't want to, and I think I mentioned this before, but we didn't want to plan out a whole itinerary. So it was always go, 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 go. Because that's not what this trip was about. This trip was about having fun, doing things that we want to do.
This trip was about go. Not go, go, go. Just
Just go. So we didn't want to have like a full day of itinerary every day running around trying to meet, you know, be at this museum at this time and then this museum and whatever. We planned for basically two things. One being a show at the Bluebird and the other being a show at the Grand Ole Opry, that's their 100th year. And they're celebrating a lot of things, but we went and saw one of their Saturday night radio shows that they do live.
which I think people up here, and I would argue maybe across major parts of the country, don't realize that still happens.
Yeah,
No.
every Saturday night they have musicians from all over come and they'll each do like about 2 or 3 songs a piece, and it's pretty incredible. And they have square dancers that come out, and it's a big deal. And actually tonight is they have some like TV special to celebrate the 100 years.
Yeah,
it's
the
like a
100-year shebang.
Yeah, it's like a 3-hour show. So we're taping it. We're going to watch it. Or record it. Sorry for those of you out there that don't know what taping is. But no, so we got there and then we just kind of explored. That's one thing that we wanted to do is like, we'll just go down on Broadway. We had a lovely night just on Broadway, going from all the different music bars, you know, and going up on rooftops and hanging out and looking
So
out
did
on
you drive
the water.
everywhere or did you Uber once you were there?
No, we drove everywhere.
Wow. All right.
And there was no like plan. It was just, we're just going and hanging out. And that was great just to be able to do that.
Did you go to any of the famous country music star bars?
We did. We went to Jelly Rolls.
Cool.
Yeah, and there was an 80s hair band
really?
doing a bunch of cover songs. We requested what?
80s hair band?
Oh,
Yeah.
he doesn't know what that is.
Oh, just
I was
like
born 20 years after that.
like Motley Crue, Aerosmith,
okay.
Poison,
Okay.
yeah, all
Rat.
that stuff. All the stuff your mom loves.
Right.
Real quick side
Right.
note on Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
Do you know that I think it was in December of this year, he threw his phone in the river on purpose?
Oh,
He
really?
does not own a phone.
Wow.
So he's.
I respect it.
You have to email him, you
Yeah.
know, to talk to him, and he said it's just helped with his mental health and everything
I'm
else.
telling you, man, there is a movement with that. But yeah, it was cool. We requested "Kickstart My Heart" by Motley Crue.
Nice.
And yeah, and that was that. And then Friday was the day that we had the Bluebird show. So we did a little bit of exploring. Went and saw Nate Land Productions, which looks like
Our sister podcast.
yeah, just like it looks like an apartment building basically.
So wait, isn't it? It's not above Zany's.
No, and I mean
Or is this where their offices are?
it's probably where their offices are, right? Because it was in very much like a apartment building, office building combo is what it kind of looked
Right.
like.
Because they're infamous when I'm listening to their podcasts where there'll be sirens going on. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's in my car as I'm driving.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
as it is.
as it is.
You did some sightseeing.
Yeah, and
What everyone does when they go to Nashville is check out Nate Land offices.
I mean, it's a big deal.
But that is a prototypical example of we're not overscheduling. We're doing what we want, when we want,
And
as we want to do it.
and we can go see it. But we did schedule a show at the Bluebird, and for those of you who don't know, the Bluebird is like a legendary music venue. It's
I'd heard of it. I wasn't inherently aware of it.
yeah, it's about the size of like a bar. Not a huge place at all. And whenever we were going, it was last Monday because the tickets were going on sale for the show that we wanted to go see. They were going on sale at 9 a.m. So I got on right at 9 a.m. and I select 2 tickets and it said they were gone. And then I went back and selected 2 more, gone. And I was like, I messaged Amy. I was like, I'm sorry, hon. It's like sold out already, like within a minute, because that's how popular this place is. And these like, I mean, there's probably a lot of people in Nashville that know who
But
some of these
nobody
guys
else
are.
does.
But when you go there, you have no idea. And I'll talk about that here in a minute. But you have no idea who these people are.
Yeah.
And we even picked a guy. His name's Ben Roberts. We had no idea who he was, but he was playing at the Bluebird, and that's all we wanted to do. It was like a bucket list, checking off a bucket list item for us. And so Amy somehow, we don't know how, she because I called her and I told her, and that my heart was in my stomach calling her, because like this is like the thing that she really wanted to do, and me too, but like I didn't want her to be disappointed. And but then right after we got off the call, she got on, and then she got 2 tickets. She doesn't know how it happened, but like that's just how it happened. It was unbelievable. So
She's using her VPN.
so yeah. So then we started listening to Ben Roberts, and we were like, "Wow, we like this guy a lot." Like it was a nice, pleasant surprise. And even Maggie likes one of his songs called Isabella. But what's interesting, so he invited. It was called Ben Roberts and Friends, and he invited 3 of his friends. It was really cool because there's these country songwriters that are on a Sandlot baseball team. They're called the Nashville Dollies. And
After Dolly, I almost said Dolly Patterson, which is a friend of mine. Go on.
and you can actually follow the Nashville Dollies on Instagram. They're there if you want to look them up. But he brought with him Jordan Walker, Adam Craig, and Wyatt Coate. And what's amazing is Jordan Walker, and they just started. They each took a song. They just went around in a circle like 3 times, and they all played some of their songs. And Jordan Walker, he wrote "When It Rains It Pours," which Luke Combs sings, which that was unbelievable because I love Luke Combs. Never heard of Jordan Walker. He also wrote a song that's out right now that's like number 15 on the country charts called Backseat Driver, which is all about a conversation with his little girl where like she'll see something and she'll ask a question and then he starts responding and then she's like, "Hey, did you see that dog?" Like, and it's just like, well, it's just what it's like because they're just looking at everything on the side of the road, and it's just a sweet sweet song about him and his daughter, and that was awesome. But Ben Roberts, he wrote a new song called "Good Country," and I don't want to speak out of turn because I can't remember exactly what he said, but there's a famous country singer that has picked this song to be his song, and it's going to be the title of his tour.
It's kind of a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's really cool.
Oh, you were telling me about this.
But it's called Good Country, so look out for that. But it was just cool to see, like, that's what these guys do. These guys write songs, and they just take these ideas and they write stories, and that's what his whole point was with this one song. He was quail hunting, and the guy that was like taking them out, the guide was like just pointing out country. He's like, "That's good country back there where you see where the water meets that, that's good country right there." And he just took he just wrote that down. He was like, that's like, and it's one of those things like somebody would say, oh, that's good country music, or like it's just one of those things, but like it just stuck to him, and he was like, I gotta write a song. And it's about like living in the place that you want to live, and it's, you know, good country, and it was just amazing to watch.
And when to get inside their minds, and the fact that like it's already a win you're in the building, but the fact that you're entertained and in the building, you're like, wait, we actually went away together.
Yeah.
We actually did get tickets for this.
Yep.
We actually are here.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not sick.
We even got good parking, because that was one thing that we were kind of concerned about. Because the Bluebird is not like in downtown Nashville or anything like that.
Oh, really?
It's like next to a dry cleaner. Like, that is how hole in the wall this place is. But I mean, like I said before, Dolly has played there, Willie Nelson, Jelly Roll has played there, Billy Strings. Like, there's just so much. Taylor Swift, like the biggest stars.
Never heard
like, yeah, I mean, she's literally probably the biggest pop star.
Travis Kelce's girlfriend.
Yeah. But the biggest stars have played there in those small in the small venue.
And so once you actually get there and got good parking,
I started tearing up when
Right.
like they were singing some of the songs. I was like, I can't believe I'm here right now. This is just unbelievable.
and then the one guy wrote, you told me last night.
Oh, that's when we get to the Opry.
Okay.
That's not yet.
My apologies.
Is it
That's
Jason
okay.
Aldean?
Hell of a transition, though.
Who's
What?
picking up that?
I'm not sure. I think that's what he said, but that's why I didn't want to like. I was like, so I don't know. But look out for that. April, I think. What was I gonna say?
It was good night, Benny. You met him.
The Opry.
Oh yeah, so we did afterwards. We were hanging out, and we had the opportunity. I had the opportunity to I just wanted to shake his hand and tell him how much we appreciated the show and all that. And we told him that we told him that like we were like we had no idea who you were, and he looked at. He was like, nobody does, and he's like, that's okay. And I said, but you've been on repeat in our house for like the last several weeks, because like we've always wanted to come to see a show at the Bluebird, and you were the one here when we made our trip plans, and we got tickets, and we were floored that we got tickets, because we didn't really expect it to happen almost. And I was like, our daughter loves your song Isabella. And he was like, oh man, that is awesome. He was like, this is just so great. I think like he was genuinely thankful. Like you could tell he was genuinely thankful. We got a picture with him. But man, he was just so nice. He was awesome. So really excited to kind of follow him and see what other songs he writes for himself and other people. But yeah, that was great. And then like in between moments, I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's not a G-rated movie, but if it's called Employee of the Month, and it's one of our movies. Like it can be on TV, and Amy or I will keep it on, you know, and it was on Prime, and we watched it. We probably watched it a total of 3 times over the course of the weekend. Wow. We watched other things too, because that was the one.
Good.
Yeah, we watched.
Then it's not weird to watch a movie that's 20 years old 3 times.
I'm telling you. Because we watched Wayne's World. We watched Wayne's World 2 because we're big fans of those. Just so, like fun and silly things. And but that was part of the trip. Part of the trip was to rest and laugh. And
You didn't watch any of Maggie's television
we
shows.
did not watch any of Maggie.
No
television.
Bluey.
Nope. So
Flippy.
like that was part. That was one of the things we wanted to do, was just rest and relax. You know, wake up late. You know, put on Employee of the Month again while we're getting ready to go. You know, that kind of thing. And just quoting lines and being silly and having fun. And then Saturday was the craziest weather day. Friday was beautiful. Saturday there was like tornado warnings, and we got caught in the rain a little bit. It wasn't the best situation, but it wasn't horrible. We were inside for most of the day anyway. But we had breakfast at what was the name of that place? Milk and Honey. Best breakfast croissant I've ever had. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, this place, we actually were getting, we parked the car, we're getting on the elevator, and I asked the guy, because when we got in the parking garage, like through where we got, I was like, which way to Biscuit Love. We were going to Biscuit Love. And he said, "Oh, I'll show you." We go out. And he's like, Biscuit Love is really good. He's like, I'm not dissing on Biscuit Love. He's like, but if you look at the menu for Milk and Honey, you might change your mind. The only thing is, though, it's always a long wait. He's like, the wait is killer. And we were like, okay. So we went. It wasn't far. They were pretty close together. And it was an hour and 20 minutes late. Or hour and 20 minutes wait.
That's a long wait.
Sheesh.
It's a long wait.
What would I wait an hour and 20 minutes for?
Well, so we
Milk
got
and honey.
we got coffee because they had like a takeout.
You sent some spies out
We got what?
to see the land of Milk and Honey.
Ah,
And they came back and said, "Oh, the line is too big. we were like, they were giants to us. We were small to them."
Bible jokes.
so we
We do Bible bits here. Lunchtime in Rome.
we did put our names in, and we were like, if we cancel, we cancel. Whatever, we'll make that decision. So
We're not gonna put you on a list.
We got
a bad
coffee.
list.
Yeah, right. We got coffee, and they made homemade Pop-Tarts. We got a Nutella one, so we got that, ate that, got our coffee, walked around the area. It's like the Sewickley of Nashville, if you will.
This is by your Airbnb.
No, we were in East Nashville for our Airbnb, which is like an up and coming Lawrenceville.
Got it.
So like we saw a lot of homes that had like just been flipped up for sale.
But now you're in the Sewickley of Nashville.
Now we're in the Sewickley of Nashville.
Why would you have parked in a parking garage?
They're
if
not
you
the
were by your
Titusville
Airbnb?
of Nashville.
Oh, no, Nashville is the Titusville of Tennessee.
That's right. And walked around and we just hung out. Didn't and the time went down faster than it said it was going to be. So that was great. But yeah, unbelievable breakfast. Really, really good. And then that night we went to a show at the Grand Ole Opry. It's their 100th year of celebrating. They've been doing it for 100 years, the Saturday night show. And they had people from all over. And it was one of the most impressive music experiences I've ever had.
Big statement.
I know. And what was
And was
cool,
Amy just cheesing the whole time?
I mean, we were both just like, like locked in, just like just watching. It was
You said line dancing, square dancing.
Yeah, I mean, they only come out for like
Break dancing.
It's kind of similar to break dancing. It was kind of similar the way they do it. Well, not similar, but so the Bluebird is a very intimate, close thing. But they all went around and did a couple songs. The Opry, they like each artist does 2, maybe 3 songs. And then it's on to the next thing. So like the whole show is full of awesome things. But they had the Nashville Irish Step Dancers, so they came out. Mandy Barnett, she was great. Wyatt Ellis, and then Lily Rose. Lily Rose wrote a song called True North, and that's been on a rotation ever since we heard it.
Wow.
Like when we left, we put it on.
You didn't know it yet.
I didn't know it yet. Although she is like a more famous country
Sure.
singer. She has a song called Villain, I believe, and it's popular, but we didn't really know of her. Bill Anderson, he was an old legend. Connie Smith, Niall McCabe. Niall McCabe was, and actually I want to go back to Wyatt Ellis. But Niall McCabe was from Ireland. And it's St. Patrick's Day weekend, so they had some Irish themed things, but it was really cool that they had a guy from Ireland. His guitar just like filled and like it just sounded like it was singing. Like it was just like as soon as he started playing, like the sound there is just incredible. Like,
Do you think that was intentional when they built the place?
I would think so.
Right.
I mean, I would. I mean, it's the best of the best. Like,
Yeah.
it's the best sounding concert I've ever been to. Like, everything is mixed perfectly that you can hear every single instrument that's playing the song. Like, it's unbelievable.
Wow.
But
Is it like a auditorium or is it like a theater? Or
yeah,
like
yeah,
okay.
yeah. But it is like unique, kind of uniquely shot. I mean, it's your like half moon.
Yeah.
But it's not like your auditorium with like your rows up and then you got your balconies. Like it is just like kind of straight across like an amphitheater.
Indoor amphitheater.
There was a kid, his name's Wyatt Ellis. I already mentioned his name. 15 years old, playing a show at the Opry.
He didn't even have his Friday night birthday yet.
That's what I'm
21.
saying.
16.
Yellow.
Yellow.
15 is yellow.
But he played with his group, and they were a bluegrass group, and he was just the sweetest kid, and he was unbelievable, just such talent. Opry Square dancers. Connor Smith, who he sung a song called "God Moments," and Jay I already told you this, but he told the story of, he was like, "What's a God moment?" And he told the story of he was out in California. They did a show, and they went out and they were meeting people and friends, and he met this one woman. She's the most beautiful woman he's ever seen in his life, and she invites him to church the next day. And he was like, I can't. We're flying out tomorrow morning. And he actually prayed. He was like, God, please don't ever let me like meet this girl again, like down the road. Like she's like, I couldn't do it. She's just the most beautiful woman I've ever met. So overnight, they go back to their hotel, wake up, and every flight out of whatever town they were in was canceled.
Wow.
And so he went to church. And now they're married. They got married. Just a really cool, and he just described that was a God moment, and it's just one of those things. Looking back, you can see how God planned the whole thing, but when you're in that moment, you really don't know, what's going on. It's just really cool. He was a really cool guy. And then Don Schlitz. I had no idea who Don Schlitz was.
Don Schlitz.
Don Schlitz.
When I think of the Opry House,
Yeah,
I think
Don
of Don
Schlitz.
Pittsburgh.
or Jimmy Strohs.
So Don Schlitz comes out, and he's a songwriter, and he sang a song about a little boy like playing baseball by himself, which was a really sweet song. It was cute. I have to look it up because I don't know the name of it. I've been meaning to do that. And then the second song he played, I knew it, but I didn't know like who sang it, like who like made it famous on the radio. And he made the joke. He's like, "Yeah, I'm a songwriter. It's what I do. It's how I make my living." And he's like, "It basically means that I can just go grocery shopping whenever I want." Because like he doesn't have a schedule. He makes really good money. Because if you're a good songwriter, you're gonna make good money. And he's a good songwriter because he's the guy that wrote The Gambler. And we were
Do you even know
like,
what that is?
No.
you would if you heard it.
Sure.
But it is one of the most famous,
Iconic
country songs of all time.
Kenny Rogers,
Yeah.
guy that makes the chicken on Seinfeld. Seinfeld was a TV
You
show.
got to know when to hold 'em,
Oh, yeah.
know when to fold 'em.
I couldn't sing it, but yeah.
Yeah. But everybody, and everybody was singing along with them.
Wow, what a great moment.
I mean, I was just like, are you kidding me?
Did he
This was
close?
unbelievable. Yeah, he closed. Nice. But just to,
You know when to fold them.
Oh, it's funny because then we did we did want to do the backstage tour, so we went backstage, and then you can see him like he's in pictures. I saw him in different pictures, like as we were walking through, like he's just with like country music royalty.
Wow.
But yeah, the tour was cool, and we got to see like all the different dressing rooms, and you can see where the artists like come in, like where it's like their red carpet kind of thing. They have a mailbox. All the live current members of the Opry, they have a mailbox. So if you want to send mail to Dolly, you can address to Dolly and send it to the Opry. Which like it is like a membership,
Yeah.
It's like it's like
Well,
having
yeah.
a jacket,
Right.
that kind of thing.
Here.
Yeah. And just really cool to see the behind the scenes of a lot of stuff, and listening to like the process, like, so like the band in that, like the house band, that's the band. I know that sounds dumb, but that's like, they're there every week. That's their band. And other musicians will come and like, they'll play, the drummer might step out and have another drummer come in for something. Depends on who the artist is, but that is the band. And like, they'll get the list of what they're going to be playing. They just learn those songs, and they're just true professionals. That's all they do. They they work on those songs, and then they get one take, not even on stage. They get one take, like they make a makeshift. They just like make a circle in the backstage area. They get one take with the artist to play it through with them, and that's it. And then it's out to the show. Like it's just crazy. Like this, like the talent is just unbelievable. And then Sunday we left open. We went to different shops and went to different places to check out stuff and hung out and had a great time. Like it was like we needed this,
right?
We
I
needed this.
I debated when you left, like how much do I communicate with you, because I was praying for you guys, I was excited for you guys, but I don't want you to be tied back down to,
Sure.
But then seeing the pictures, and I told Amy tonight, and I told you the other day, I've never seen her look happier.
Yeah.
And almost more healthy. Like there was just a vibrancy to her.
Yeah.
Where she was able to just breathe.
She looked so pretty. She made different outfits that she put together. She just looked gorgeous,
Yeah. And I was just elated that it was going well. There was no womps.
Yeah, there's no womps. Everything
and even
was
when I saw like the weather, I'm watching the weather. The
it
whole
was
time.
coming down.
Not far south from you got wrecked.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, that's not it,
Yeah.
and just for you guys to be away and to be entertained and to eat good food.
Yeah.
And, it was almost one of those trips where you came back energized, not depleted.
Yeah.
And that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. That's what we needed.
And Joe's going away this weekend.
I am on an ROTC trip just to.
You'll be all healed up by then?
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping
Well,
so.
I'm not training, but.
Oh, you're not?
No, I have a job.
Oh, sweet.
But.
You're at that level now.
There you go.
So that's good. And we get to go see Ruthless, Bella's play Friday night.
Yeah.
Bella, dare I say, and Maya's, her roommate. So we're excited about that. It looks really funny.
Wish I could go.
Well, do you know I told her about you snapping your ankle? And she's like, oh, does that mean he doesn't go to ROTC and he can come to my show? And I was like, no. But it's sweet that she wants him to be there. Like,
That is sweet.
It is.
It really
And it
is.
has conflicted all 3 years.
With ROTC.
2.
it's
3 times.
It's going to be a conflict next year, too.
I'm going to make it so.
You're calling it.
So,
And that is it for episode 277. Join us next week for episode 278. Between now and then, please give us a like or follow on social media and visit us at lunchtimeinrome.com. While there, take our relational needs questionnaire. Thanks for joining us at the table for Lunchtime in Rome. See you next week.
Tie your shoelaces.
bye.